When we get chills from a pop love song, we almost always give the credit to the producer. We assume the heavy lifting is done by a driving bass line or a soaring synth melody, while the lyrics are treated as simple rhyming filler to give the vocalist something to do. But synthesizing the overwhelming rush of sudden attraction and fitting it into a 3-minute track is an exercise in extreme compression. You have roughly 180 seconds to move a listener from a neutral state to a feeling of intense intimacy. The modern hit track Shararat solves this problem almost entirely through text. It bypasses the need for complex musical buildups by tapping directly into a highly specific, centuries-old South Asian lyrical formula. By breaking down the exact transcript of this track, we can see how specific words and metaphors are sequenced to trigger an irresistible illusion of romance right on cue. The song uses its limited runtime to sequentially dismantle a listener's defenses, moving through 3 specific psychological triggers. The romantic formula relies on 3 distinct stages. Step 1 is the disruption. To pull a listener out of their baseline reality, the journey has to start with a sudden visual reveal. The lyrics accomplish this immediately. The singer notes, "Tune parda utaya," you lifted the veil, exposing an innocent face, or masum chehra. The lyricist pairs that physical innocence with the promise of a golden heart, dil hai sunehra. This sudden lifting of a barrier to reveal purity instantly hooks the listener by creating a state of deep psychological intrigue. But pure visual attraction is stagnant. If the song stays there, the emotion flatlines. Escalating the romance requires step 2, introducing dynamic tension. Escalating romance requires step 2, dynamic tension. The track introduces its central recurring promise to solve this. Thenu Shararat Sikava Janena Larava. I will teach you mischief when our eyes meet. Shararat, or mischief, acts as the necessary catalyst here. It forcefully shifts the dynamic. The listener is no longer a passive observer of a face. They are now a participant in an active, rule-breaking game. The lyrics specify targets of this game, pointing out, Tum hi ho tanha aur hum akele, you are lonely and I am alone. The text identifies 2 isolated individuals and fuses them into an exclusive pair. While the metaphor of the veil successfully captures initial attention, the specific promise of mischief secures the active tension required to push the listener into the final phase. With the tension firmly established between these 2 characters, the script has to close the emotional loop. This brings us to the 3rd step of the formula, total surrender. The language pivots sharply from playful, surface-level interactions to overwhelming metaphors of depth. The singer declares, Naina mere nila samandar, samandar mein doob lava. My eyes are a blue sea. Let me drown you in this sea. Compare that intense, oceanic drowning imagery against the light, delicate motif of a lifting veil from the opening verse. The sheer scale of the lyrical escalation is massive. To completely solidify this immersion, the text deploys one final sensory detail, the offer of pink sherbet, gunabi sharbat. This anchors the abstract feeling of drowning in love to a highly specific, sweet physical taste. From the mystery of the veil, to the playfulness of the mischief, to the overwhelming oceanic depth, the text maps and artificially stimulates the exact psychological stages of falling in love. The listener has just been taken on a meticulously crafted emotional escalator, entirely driven by the strategic placement of ancient poetic tropes. But if we look at the very first line of the actual transcript for this release, we find something that sits entirely outside this romantic narrative. The raw text begins with this, Saragama Karvan, the perfect gift for your loved ones. This entire architecture of romantic poetry is actually serving as the promotional vehicle for a physical product, the retro-style Saragama Karvan radio. It is a jarring juxtaposition. A thoroughly modern audio marketing campaign is wrapped and delivered inside the irresistible machinery of traditional South Asian romance. The lyrical formula of Shararat generates such strong feelings of connection that it becomes a potent vehicle to sell a gift meant for loved ones. The ancient language of romance continues to be our most powerful modern currency.